Hello and welcome to another edition of Fast Horses Today. Today's for Saturday, March 30th, a big day of racing. We've got the Arkansas Derby card, which is a big day at Arkansas, and big betting opportunities for us horse players. So we've got two pick fives here. We got an extended card. They've got 13 races. So we've got two pick fives to talk about here and play, and a couple win bets as well. So we're going to start it's a middle pick five. It's in the fifth race. This is a great mile race here, made in special weight, $120,000 purse. Boy, they really, just do it right there in Oaklawn Park. So we're going to start this fifth race with three horses here. We've got the one Who's Ticket for Steve Asmussen, Tyler Gaffleone. I thought this horse ran a really nice race last time. It was his first time out at Oaklawn after running once at the fairgrounds. This horse had the wide trip on the mile and a 16th race, which is usually, not so good. Press for the lead and, just didn't finish up in the stretch. But I expect a better effort here, shortening up to a mile. So I've got the one Who's Ticket. The two horse here is Bonacqua. I see Bob Baffert has brought in a horse to try to break the maiden. This horse has run 3 times at Santa Anita and was favored in the last 2 and came second. So, this horse certainly fits well here in this maiden special weight race here. And then I got the 3, Tap the Champagne. Tap the Champagne ran a really nice race first time at Oaklawn Park. It was a mile and a 16th race. Gets a jockey switch to Flavian Pratt, which is, always a great thing. I love to see Flavian Pratt, first time on a horse. Always moves the horses up. So I've got the 3 here as well, Tap the Champagne. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 to start off this pick 5. Let's move over to the 6th race. The 6th race is a 6 furlong race, allowance race, a $150,000 race. I've got 2 horses here to get this pick 5 moving along, and I also have a win bet. We're going to start off with the 1, Shopper's Revenge. Shopper's Revenge is coming off a long layoff for Steve Asmussen. He's got Christian Torres aboard. This horse is an exceptionally well-bred horse out of the mare Stop Charging Maria. And I know that was a big purchase. The Whisper Hill Farm paid some good money for that horse. She was, I believe, was a Todd Pletcher horse, but she had a nice record herself, and they bred this horse to tap it. And these folks at Whisper Hill put a lot of money into horse racing with buying mares and breeding them. So, maybe it pays off here. This horse is 3-1 in the program, coming off a long layoff, has been working out really nicely. So I'm going to put a win bet on this horse. And then for pick 5 purposes, I'm also going to put the 7, just in case, this is, horse racing and anything can happen. So the 7, Juilliard, for Steve Hobby. This horse been running at Oaklawn and running, pretty well. Had a nice race last time. Is moving up a bit in class, but, it could surprise here for Steve Hobby, who had a nice win, I think it was yesterday, and got Louis Fuentes on the horse here, the 7, Juilliard. So let's move now to the 7th race. 7th race is another maiden special weight race, mile and a 16th, $120,000 purse. I've got a single here in the 1, Militant. Militant for Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt. This horse ran one time a couple weeks back in March and, ran a very even race. Was kind of wide and, lost some ground, but, really just kind of held it together in the stretch, and I thought ran a nice race. So I think this horse is due for a nice improvement. Pardon me. So I like this horse. I'm going to single this horse. He's 9-5 in the program, and, try to move the pick 5 along with a single here, the 1, Militant. Let's move on to the next race, which is the 8th race. 8th race I find really tough here at Oaklawn. This is a mile and a 16th, $150,000 allowance. I don't have a strong opinion. I think so many horses have been kind of knocking around in this category, here at Oaklawn in these allowance races. And, a lot of times it just ends up being who gets a nice trip and, finishes up strong. So I've got several horses. I'm going deep here in this race. I've got the 1, King Russell. The 2, 10 Days Later. The 4, Media Mogul. The 5, Captivating Boy. Captivating Boy last time I think was a steam horse as far as the pick fives and the horizontal bets. He was 8-1 that day. Ran a huge race for Bill Morey and came second. So I don't know. We'll see if that horse still has that steam that Morey brings. The 5, Captivating Boy at 3-1. The 6, Prove Worthy. The 7, Underhill's Tab. The 10, who is Sun Thunder. And then the 12, Elusive Target. So we're going to, go wide in that race, and, we're going to try and hit our single before that and then move on. So let's go to the 9th race. 9th race is the last leg of the middle pick 5, and then it's the first leg of the second pick 5. So let's just, address the middle pick 5 here. So try to cap off this middle pick 5. This is the Oaklawn Mile. Now, this race is a Grade 3. They've been running this race for a few years now. It doesn't have a long history, but it's a $500,000 purse. And Grade 3, and certainly a race that I'm sure a lot of these connections would like to win. So I've got 4 horses here to try to cap off this pick 5. I've got the 1, Nautical Star, for Chris Hartman. This horse has been sprinting. But, as I've said before, I read this a long time ago. Charlie Whittingham, the great Charlie Whittingham, said, if you want to test your horse for a distance, you try him at a mile at Oaklawn or Santa Anita. And if that horse can't do a mile there, then you certainly, don't have a distance horse. So it looks like they're trying this horse at a distance here. He's been sprinting and, maybe gets a nice trip and runs on well here. Nautical Star, he's a long shot as well. He's 12-1. Then I've got the 2, Dennington, for Kenny McPeak, coming off a bit of a layoff. This horse has been knocking around in some tough company. Brian Hernandez Jr., that's one of his main men. He's, in to ride this horse, the 2. Then we got the 4, Midnight Rising. Midnight Rising is, this is kind of the now horse here at Oaklawn. This horse has run some nice races in allowance races at Oaklawn and put up some big figures for Blair Jordan and Manny Esquivel. And I know those are kind of light connections for stake races. They don't really get a whole lot of chances, but this horse is really sharp right now with 2 nice wins, 2 nice figures, and ran with a lot of energy. So I don't see why this horse can't do something here with this group. And he's 7-2, so it's not a big surprise here with Midnight Rising. I'm also going to make a little win bet on Midnight Rising. I just think this horse might get a nice trip, and maybe Manny Esquivel gets a big win. I know Manny Esquivel's from my local area here in Chicago. He's been riding pretty well, and I don't know if he's won a race of this magnitude yet, so maybe a first here for Manny. And then the 5 horse, who's Necker Island. This is also for Chris Hartman. Necker Island's been running for a while. This horse is by Hard Spun, 7-year-old horse. He's kind of a hard knocker, old timer horse. Now this horse has also been sprinting for pretty much his career, and he's run some distance races. He does show 3 wins in 9 races, but I'm not exactly sure when those were. But this horse has been sprinting. So again, kind of go with that same Charlie Whittingham thing. You want to try your horse at a distance, you try him at a mile at Oaklawn. So that's what they're doing here. But this horse, has some history sometime off the page. He's been running in distance races. So again, let's cap off this, to recap the pick 5 starting in the 5th race at Oaklawn. We have a $96 ticket. We've got in the 5th race starting 1, 2, 3 with 1, 7 with single the 1 Militant with 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 with 1, 2, 4, 5 in the 9th race. And again, that's a $96 ticket. And I also have a win bet on the 6th race on the 1, and then a win bet in the 9th race on the 4. Now, we're going to go to the 9th race, which is the late pick 5 at the Oaklawn, Arkansas Derby card. So we already just talked about this 9th race, so we're going to start this pick 5 off with the 4 horses, 1, 2, 4, 5. Let's move on to the 10th race. The 10th race is the Matron Stakes. Now, this is not a graded race, but this is $250,000. It's a big pot they're running. There's a big scratch, I thought, here of Backyard Money. I thought Backyard Money was going to be a speed factor here. and Backyard Money is scratched. The 3 Chardana is also scratched. So with those scratches, I really think that this, really moves up the 8 Daddy's Ruby. And 8 Daddy's Ruby is a fast horse and has done it at Santa Anita, done it at a couple different distances. And, with the scratches, it really kind of leaves this race void of speed. And, this horse looks to be pretty good here. So I'm going to, put 2 horses in here. I'm going to put Royal Spa, who ran with Daddy's Ruby back in the La Brea, where Daddy's Ruby won that race, and Royal Spa was kind of, just running in place, running an even race. But I'm going to go 7-8 here, where Daddy's Ruby, I expect this horse to be on the lead. I don't really root for Peter Miller as a trainer. I'm not a big fan of his, but, horse is a horse, and we're here to pick winners. So Daddy's Ruby, I'll be rooting for Flavian Pratt. He rides the horse, so nice there. But I've also got 7 Royal Spa, and I'm going to make a little win bet on Royal Spa. Maybe taking a chance that this horse might turn the tables on Daddy's Ruby, and might get a price here. Royal Spa is 8-1, so we got 7-8 here. So let's move on to the 11th race. The 11th race is the Fantasy at 1 1/16. And it is always a great race on the Oaklawn calendar. This race is $750,000, so huge purse here in the Fantasy. 1 1/16, 3-year-olds, and these are on the trail to the Oaks. So I've got 4 horses here that I'm going to put in here for the pick 5. I've got the 1, My Main Squeeze. Michael Maker brings this horse in from Aqueduct. Now, this horse, her challenge is it going to be 2 turns for the first time, because it's been running in 1-turn races over at Aqueduct. So 1 1/16 is 2 turns, of course, at Oaklawn. So this horse is 3-1 in the program. I'm going to put this horse in. He puts the right guy on there in Flavian Pratt, so certainly Pratt will do what he could for this horse. We got the 8 horse, who is West Omaha, for Brad Cox. This horse came in for the Honeybee a few weeks back, was the favorite that day, and got beat by Lemon Muffin, who we'll talk about in a moment. So West Omaha, we're going to give another chance with Gaff Leone at 4-1. Then we got the 10, Tapit Janelli. Tapit Janelli also ran in the Honeybee, ran second to Lemon Muffin. Tapit Janelli is an exceptionally bred horse out of the mare Take Charge Tressa, who is a sister, I think, is a full sister to Omaha Beach, which, we know how outstanding Omaha Beach was as a racehorse and a sire. So Take Charge Tressa is the dam here, and the sire is Tapit, so this horse is bred exceptionally. This horse ran a big race last time, I thought, in the Honeybee Grade 3, to come second to Lemon Muffin, who is the 11 horse. Lemon Muffin, for Dwayne Lucas, this horse, she broke her maiden in the Grade 3 Honeybee at 28-1 and just ran an outstanding race. This is the crafty Wayne Lucas. I mean, he, is kind of laying in the weeds there in the maiden ranks and just kind of knocking around, and all of a sudden puts this horse at 2 turns and pops, runs a big figure, big race, and beats, several of these horses. So hard not to go back with this horse. Maybe this horse just been wanting the long races, the whole time and got him. So in this race, I've got the 1, the 8, the 10, and the 11 to move on. So let's go now to the 12th race. Now, the 12th race is the one that everyone's waiting for there in Hot Springs. This is the Arkansas Derby, $1.5 million race, 1 1/8. And, a nice field of horses. We've got 4 horses here to move this along. We've got the 2-horse Timberlake, who's 9-5 favorite. Timberlake ran an outstanding race in the Rebel, coming off a layoff. This horse last time had run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile back in November at Santa Anita, and his first race out was the Rebel back a few weeks ago in February, and just made pretty quick work of the field. So we had a great race. Great figure, was the favorite that day. Christian Torres gets off the horse and Pratt gets on the horse. You know how serious they are about this guy. He's 9-5 in the program. If you're looking to make a smaller ticket and you want a single horse like Timberlake, certainly, not going to argue with that. But, I don't know. Maybe, we'll see if, Timberlake has not put 2 wins together, so I don't know. So I'm going to put a few horses in with Timberlake and maybe catch a price. So Timberlake's a nice horse here. I'm also going to put the 3 Dematic. Dematic ran in the Rebel as well with Timberlake. Had a bit of a rough trip, but I thought ran on and, maybe could improve here. This is a Steve Asmussen horse, and over the last few weeks, I don't feel like I've had luck with Asmussen. I kind of feel like Wile E. Coyote, where I keep, getting fooled with the Acme bomb, and stepping on it here with Asmussen. Hasn't done me any favors over the last couple weeks. So who knows? In a big race like this is maybe where he pops. So I'm going to put Dematic in here, the 3 horse. Going to go with the 7 Muth. That's Bob Baffert. This horse is 8-5 in the program. A big purchase. This is a $2 million horse. This horse ran some really nice races in California. We haven't seen this horse run since January 6th. He really took out the field there in the grade 2, 7 furlong San Vicente. So, we're going to see, I'm going to put Bob Baffert in here. One of his guys, J.J. Hernandez, is riding Oaklawn, and, maybe Hernandez gets it done at Oaklawn. Hernandez is a really nice jock in California, wins a lot of races. He doesn't travel much, so I haven't seen him win a whole lot of races outside of California. So, big shot for him here with the 8-5 favorite. And then I'm going to put Just Steel. Just Steel also came out of the Rebel with Timberlake, and this horse was coming out of the 11 hole, which those wide trips are really tough. I thought the horse ran okay, and just kind of ran an even race in my opinion, coming out in that wide thing there. And it's Wayne Lucas. So again, Wayne Lucas, crafty horseman, putting in a horse that they paid $500,000 for. Horse has been running well, and he's putting Asmussen on him, which he's had some luck with Asmussen this meet. You never know. If things don't work out for Timberland or Muth, this is the kind of horse that upsets the apple cart and makes a pick 5 pay. So we've got the 2, 3, 7, 8 here. And then finally, to cap off the day in this marathon card, 13 races at Oaklawn. We're going to end this with a mile race, $150,000 allowance race. Some really nice horses here. A lot of these horses, again, as we've talked about, they knock around in this allowance non-winner of one condition at Oaklawn. And, I don't know, there's some of them just getting slices and getting, big chunks of these big purses, and it seems to do well for them and their connections, their trainers and their jocks. And, they just don't win, though. But we're in the business of trying to find winners, so we've got to find the winner today. So I've got 2 horses here to cap it off. I've got the 5 Absinthe for the Steve Asmussen barn again. So I'm really relying on Steve Asmussen to add to his record-setting training total. I hope we can add to him today because I've got him in several. Absinthe, last we saw this horse was running at Saratoga last summer. Ran in one of those one and a half turn mile races. It was a sloppy track. That horse was a big favorite that day, and just came up short, but must not have liked that slop there in Saratoga, which some horses certainly don't. And we all know the saying at Saratoga, graveyard of favorites, and this horse is a favorite there, and this horse is nowhere near some of the monsters that have gotten beaten on that strip there in Saratoga. So we've got Absinthe off a long layoff. He's the program 5-2 favorite. Going to put him in there. And then I'm also going to add the 6 Let's Duet for Kenny McPeak. Kenny McPeak's had a really nice meet at Oaklawn, has run a lot of horses and won some nice races there. And he's got, again, is one of his main guys, Brian Hernandez Jr. So I've got the 5 and the 6 here in this race. So to recap here, in the 9th race at Oaklawn with the late pick 5, the 9th race, we got 1, 2, 4, 5 with 7, 8, with 1, 8, 10, 11, with 2, 3, 7, 8, with 5 and 6. And again, this is a big day at Oaklawn. Add or subtract how you see fit if you want to narrow down in some of these big races, if you have a strong feeling. But this is a $128 ticket in the late pick 5. So again, we got 1, 2, 4, 5 with 7, 8, with 1, 8, 10, 11, with 2, 3, 7, 8, with 5, 6, and then the 10th race we got a win bet on the 7. So for this great day, good luck to you. Most importantly, we need good trips, because that's always key, and good racing for the Arkansas Derby Marathon card. Thank you. Please hit the subscribe button and make comments. I want to reply to any comments I receive. Things you might like, things you may not like, and would love to hear from you. Thank you very much.